Yeah, give me a second because I'm doing a live stream right now. Hello, guys. I'm coming to you guys to let everybody know um, that when I've been, revealed to you guys that I am being intellectually disabled, and now I'm also autistic. So basically, the question is, should I be accepted to people with disabilities who are also YouTubers? And this is the biggest question because I see a lot of disabled YouTubers out there that's, I guess, have more subscribers than me, and I was wondering, should I be included into their spaces? Now, and I noticed that a lot of people don't come to me and said, you're welcome into our spaces, or you can be a guest in our in our videos or in our live streams. So as you may know, a couple of years back, I've been diagnosed, being intellectually disabled, and basically it when I got older, it got a lot worse. Now, a lot of people will say that the older you are, being disabled is going to be worse, as there's no cure for it. So, and some of the stuff that adults, have feelings for, a person who are intellectually disabled or suffering from autism is not going to have the same feelings as adults, ordinary adults feel, right? So I'm coming to you guys because as a YouTuber, and I'm not popular. I don't have like 100,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers than most people are, but at the end of the day, I'm still a YouTuber, right? And I'm still being a part of the disabled community, and I'm raising awareness of people that has ID or autistic, or if a person is fully deaf. I'm raising awareness because that's what I am. You know, I'm also a fully deaf on my left ear, which means I'm deaf and hard of hearing, which means that I'm also part of the deaf community as well. So you think about all these things that I have, as a disabled person. We, as a disabled community, has the right to have a voice too. And so people are very talented. If you're disabled, we are very talented. Whether you're on social media, whether you play sports, whether you can sing, become an artist, or drawing. It's really important for people to understand that people who are disabled has a right to say, to speak out, to have their voices heard. Because I know this year is election year, and I know people people who are disabled don't have, when it comes to politics or issues, politicians don't have, the people who are disabled in their forefront. What I mean is that when you have, you know, when it comes to programs that's involved with, people with disabilities, they're not taking it seriously, right? I think a person who have a wheelchair or walk with crutches or have a walker, they're morally focusing on physical disabled people, not mentally disabled people. And this is I want people to understand that mentally disabled people has every right, just like a physically disabled people, to have their presence known. Um, we're talking about people who suffer from, mental health issues, right? And we've been seeing it time and time again in the black community that they're not taking us seriously when it comes to, we're talking about the Sonia Massey situation, for example. She suffered from mental health issues. And there's other situations when it comes to police officers and people who in the black community that have mental health issues, and they're afraid to even talk about this. They're afraid to even speak their minds and speak what's in their minds and in their hearts. So as a person like myself that, who has ID, who are autistic and who are fully deaf, being disabled, just because that I'm not physically disabled doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not disabled at all. And I think this is what YouTubers need to understand, that I do have a right to be accepted spaces with people with disabilities. I do have that right. And as a YouTuber, I basically have a right to be accepted in those spaces. So what I'm saying is that I think and then again, I receive a lot of comments, saying that you're inspiration, because I know that, there's people that like me that has ID, that's probably mild or severe ID, and they need someone that has a voice. And I am raising awareness right now when it comes to people that has ID or who are autistic or who are deaf or hard of hearing, that people has mental disabilities, as well as supporting people that has physical disabilities, because at the end of the day, we all have talent. And I know when people try to express themselves, when people who has family members and they're trying to protect a family member because they don't want the family member to know that that person is disabled, whatever, whatever, whatever. But at the end of the day, that, and I understand they try to protect it, but sometimes you got to let that person express themselves as a person who is disabled, like myself included. I'm finally accepted who I am after all these years of being in denial, right? I've been in denial for a lot of years. And in this space, as a disabled person, whether it's physical or mental, at the end of the day, we're all disabled. And I think it's important for people to realize that, if you have a family member, if you or someone who are disabled, make sure you support that person, support what they want to do, support their talent, because this is important. This is important for everybody to understand that. For myself, as a disabled person, we need to have our voice or have our point across. Now, with that being said, I think it's time for a person like myself to express how we feel as a disabled person. Because there's people are focusing on people with physical disabilities and not mentally disabilities. And I think people that has disabilities as a whole need to come out and speak out. Some of the people are too scared to speak out because there's going to be bullying on social media of a person who is disabled. And that also needs to stop. So, for me, I've been thinking about a lot of stuff. I've been doing news and commentary as a disabled person, and again, like I would like to appreciate. I like to thank all the love and comments on my videos for the last couple of years, and I think we need to have people like myself to speak out more and raise awareness of people with disabilities. I think it's about that time. And even in politics, whether it's Kamala Harris or Donald Trump or anyone like that, I think they need to focus on issues of people who have disabilities and how they can put programs to treat them better, whether it's, with Social Security, or increase money with Social Security with people with disabilities, or having, anything that deals with people who are disabled. I think this is need to be addressed in the political front. So, and I'm gonna say this, that I do, as a disabled person, need to be accepted in those spaces, because just because I'm not physically disabled doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not disabled at all. So let's just make it clear. This is make it clear. And I think that this has had to be addressed not only in these spaces, but in politics, in political things. Say, what can you do for the people with disabilities, especially if they're veterans, military veterans, because there are military veterans also are disabled. So what are they going to do? And I know and a lot of people who are disabled veterans are homeless at the moment. Majority of them are. But yet, people who are fought in wars, who basically, risk their lives for this country, and I see them in the streets. And the big question is, what are you going to do with disabled veterans? Y'all say you want to take care of your own. I see people in the streets right now that don't have anywhere to go, and they are disabled veterans. So we have to use our mind and use our heads that there are disabled veterans out there, and we have to, whether it's physical or mental, we got to treat each other with dignity and respect. And this is how I feel about being accepted in those spaces. And again, I'm not telling y'all, and pleading y'all, well, let me in, let me in. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, as a YouTuber, as a disabled YouTuber, I want to be a part of those spaces because I have more to give in anybody's lives than anybody else. So, and I'm just wondering, who can accept a person with having mild ID, or suffering with autism, or suffering being deafness, or being hearing impaired? Because this definitely needs to be addressed. And this definitely as a YouTuber, has every right to speak out for the people that can't speak out. So that's basically all I wanted to hear, and I want people to address this in the comments. And if you have any questions, or if you or someone who are disabled wants to ask questions on how you feel. Why do you want to why you're disabled as a YouTuber, want to raise awareness on it. I think with me, and I'm also stutter sometimes, because when you stutter, you get nervous or you exciting things. And when you exciting things, that's when the stutter comes out. But I'm working on my stutterness right now. But I'm just letting the whole entire world know on my channel that yes, I've been diagnosed with ID. I've been diagnosed that for years. I'm also autistic, and I'm also deaf. And but I also want to be a part of the disability community on YouTube, and I want to raise awareness on what you would do as a disabled person, because that's also important. That's important in those spaces. So that's all I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section, and hopefully I will definitely do the best I can and answer all those questions. But that's why I'm going to go live right now, let y'all know that if you or someone who's basically have been diagnosed with ID, or having autistic, suffering from autism, or suffering from deafness, then let's keep in touch. Let's keep the conversation going, and we will see what we can do as people with disabilities to come together, and hopefully we can raise awareness and let the world know that not all disabled people that has wheelchairs or has walkers or have crutches, because there are other mental people as well. So that's all I have to say, and I hope you have a good Monday, and I'll talk to you soon. Deuces.